In this episode of The Lion Queen, a new lion arrives with a connection to another lion at the sanctuary.
Come, big boy. Where's your brother? Go find your brother.
An intruder onto the property puts his life at risk.
You just stay here.
And Andi is desperate to find some lions to share an enclosure with Natasha. She's pinning her hopes on the two young cubs, Sasha and Moya, who are darted and then moved.
And he still doesn't know that there's another lion too.
Still a surprise waiting when they meet their new roommate.
But will Natasha accept them?
Is she there?
Oh, she's there.
She's there.
Andi Rive is making a fresh start. After 3 years running a big lion reserve in South Africa, she's building a new haven, a place where some of these magnificent animals can live in safety. Many lions in captivity are bred to be shot, victims of the trophy hunting industry.
This is a rescue.
Andi's mission is to save some of these animals she's come to love so much.
What do you see? What is it?
Andi's vision has a name, the Love Lions Alive Project. It's a new beginning, finding the land, finding workers to build enclosures, and finding money to finance it all. Can Andi, the Lion Queen, make her dream happen?
You can quickly come. Quickly, before Mela comes and gets jealous.
Previously on The Lion Queen, Andi thought lions Natasha and Mela would make perfect companions for one another.
Natasha wants to be close and be loved, but she just can't. Mela won't allow it. Should we move you? Should we move her now? Come, everybody.
But after a week and no sign of them getting on, they were separated, with Mela going back to her old enclosure and her old friends.
She's more relaxed now already.
Before the matchmaking went awry, 2 young cubs had arrived.
Oh, little babies. Oh, he's beautiful. Yeah.
Only around 9 months old, they were brothers.
One looks white.
Yeah, the one's much lighter than the
one's
other.
taller.
And after taking a long time to emerge from their crate, they settled into their new enclosure.
Most of the time, these boys are on a boulder.
Also among the recent arrivals were Norwegians Lina and Tala, returning to do more volunteer work. This time they're staying for a good length of time.
For maybe a year. Is your room big enough? No. It's not.
Accommodation for volunteers and especially visitors was a high priority for Andi from the moment she secured the property.
Imagine this is now where your accommodation will be. The tents will be in the middle of the lions.
The plan was to set up tents among the lion enclosures so that visitors can stay overnight and get an authentic experience with the lions.
So ideally, when you're here in the camp, in the tented camp, you're surrounded by lions. It's nice, eh?
It is.
The long-held dream of having a safari camp perched on the mountain is one step closer to happening. Andi's partner Leon has picked up a load of second-hand tents and camping equipment. However, there's one major problem. There are no instructions on how to assemble them.
Do you think that's a little... No, it must be a...
It's a hammer for the tent pegs.
Neither Andi nor Leon have any idea what the tents are supposed to look like when they're erected.
My plan would be to put everything in groups, like things together, work out what we need for one, then we know, okay, 4 of those is one tent, and then we can label the others, that we know if we want to get from our storage, we want one more tent. You know, go and fetch this, this, and this, that's one tent. But it's going to be quite a thing going through all of this and working out what is exactly one tent.
Leon has worked out what one object is meant for.
This is a wash basin for your face. There's a little spacey here for your soap, see? You put your soap in there.
Unfortunately, the tents will have to wait as Andi has more pressing issues to deal with. A lion is due to arrive any moment.
We're going to offload the lion in there. Then we're going to go and get the horse. So you can leave these things
With the number of lions steadily increasing, more meat is needed to feed them, which means more freezer space is required. The new lion has arrived. He was tranquilized before going into the crate.
How many darts did he take? 2? Okay. And when was he darted? How was he supposed to sleep?
At 9 o'clock.
It's important to act quickly because the tranquilizer could start wearing off. Andi wants to get the crate into the enclosure and opened up before the lion is fully awake.
Well, where's Landile?
He's at the...
Oh, he's there. And we've got Leon. We must just go in with 2 vehicles this time, so we've got another vehicle for being on instead of walking around in there.
Yeah.
Can't you just block the dog away quickly?
They have to be careful here because they're not just dealing with one lion. The enclosure is already occupied by this lion's brother, Mandla, who was brought here several days ago.
Lucky, there's a lion here already, okay? But it's not a tame lion.
Fight.
Mandla was exactly like this the other day. He looked like he was fast asleep, and the moment we opened, he darted out.
Right, come here. Yeah.
No, he'll turn.
Sway him.
Right, don't stand in front of him. Man. He still looks like he's completely sleeping, but there's a good chance he'll run out. If he runs out, he's going to run there, then we can put the crate back on.
The moment of leaving the crate is potentially the most dangerous. The lion is entering unfamiliar surroundings, and having been sedated makes him very unpredictable.
He's been in the box now for so long. He's still traveling.
Opening up the other end enables them to get a good look at him.
Bietjie, daar's hy. Nog bietjie, nog klein bietjie.
He's still a bit drugged.
What's his name?
I don't know yet. Come, big boy. Come, big boy. Where's your brother? Go find your brother. Oh, can you see that Lucky's on the top of him? Maybe
Lucky?
we're going to call him
He's
Lucky.
tired.
Come, your brother's waiting for you. Come, big boy. Take the cover. Oh, he's going to turn around. That's good. But then, Lucky, you must be ready to come. Give the cover here so you're ready to come if need be.
Kom maar hier zo.
It's okay. It's okay, big boy.
That response suggests they have every reason to be cautious.
Do you need the crate, Marty? Let's just leave him to rest.
The decision is made to leave the crate behind for now.
We can go and look from in here. Leon says that the other one ran as well, but I didn't see him going there. But he's just behind that boulder. Like there he is standing on the rock watching us. He's braver.
Yeah. Mandla only came out the next morning. That's the
Yeah.
only time I saw him.
Kawe,
Oh,
maybe.
Andi's trying to think of a name for the new lion.
it's been...
Sabindi.
Yeah, that's not scared of...
Sabindi. Sabindi. It's a nice name. I think maybe we'll just...
Mandla
Manda and Sabindi.
Because we wanted to name those small ones that all...
But the small ones are so scared. We named the brown one Moya because you never see him. He's no. And the white one is Sasha. So this one, Sabindi. Okay? What do you think? Yeah. Let's go get that horse so that you guys can go back to work.
Next, Andi takes it upon herself to find fresh food for her lions.
Shall I shoot?
At the bottom of the ear.
At the Love Lions Alive project, the new arrival, Sibindi, has been left to come out of his crate in his own good time. Awaiting him in the same enclosure is his brother, Manga. On another part of the sanctuary, Norwegian volunteers Lena and Tala are clearing scrub from an area in preparation for it to become another enclosure. The dogs are doing their best to help, or get in the way. This is Lena and Tala's second visit to the sanctuary. Andi's asked them to be team leaders for the other volunteers.
I've got a trickle of volunteers, and I've got Lena and Tala who are, they're no longer volunteers. They're part of my permanent team now, but they are so flipping fabulous to have around. They're just independent. They do their thing, they make it happen, they look after the volunteers, because that's the main thing I need from them, is that they look after whatever volunteers I've got here at any given moment. And they really do it. They do it nicely, they do it well.
Having volunteers she can trust to oversee the manual work frees Andi up for other important jobs.
Can you fill it up?
No, don't fill it up. Let me see what money I've got with me. 400, please.
400 grand.
Yeah.
With all the new lions arriving, meat supplies are dwindling, so Andi is on a meat run.
We're going to go and put a horse down. The horse has broken its leg.
Andi doesn't like killing any animal, but sometimes it's the only option.
I've had to shoot several horses. And the horse has to be put down because the horse has to be put down. The horse is in pain, there's something wrong with the horse. And it's really nice for the lions to get a horse, because with their cows, people tend to use quite a lot of antibiotics and hormones and dips and things, which they don't do with their horses as much. So the horse meat is purer meat, and it's also less fatty. It's better for the lion to eat horse meat than cow meat. Is this the horse?
The horse's leg is broken, and it's in pain. The only humane thing to do now is to end its suffering.
Shall I shoot?
At the bottom of the ear.
Farmers can get very attached to their horses and often don't want to put them down when necessary. It's times like these when Andi is called.
I'm just going to move the bakkie so they can put in load so long.
It's the harsh reality of taking care of lions.
You've got to look after predators, you've got to feed them, and they've got to eat prey. You can't give them, they're carnivores, that's what they eat. We've got to make a plan. So it's one of the responsibilities of caring for a predator is to provide them with meat. And that often involves shooting. It always involves a dead animal.
Back at the sanctuary, the workers also have to learn to deal with the reality of one animal dying in order to feed another.
These organs you need to go and give to the girls nice and fresh. It's much easier to cut now when it's fresh.
Okay.
If you are okay with that. If you've got a knife.
When Andi says give the organs to the girls, she's talking about Mela and Natasha.
We shot it today. Yeah.
So it's fresh meat.
Volunteers Lena and Tala have been given the task of chopping up the
I
carcass.
thought maybe you needed this one. Or you can use it.
To survive, an adult lion needs 4 to 7 kilograms of meat a day. This horse should provide enough meat to feed Andi's 6 lions for 3 or 4 days. While all of that's been happening, there's been no progress with the safari tents. It appears no one wants the job of assembling the puzzle.
It's got to be sorted out.
And there's no plan whatsoever.
Nothing.
Not realizing what they're in for, 2 new volunteers have offered to help.
That is a challenge, eh? And you see what the plans are is to pitch the tent here, then broken down again and get up there and pitch them for permanently on those wooden decks.
I think that if we do it at least once, the second time would be much easier.
I know, but you know, would we know if each of those bedrooms are they the same?
I was sure that we have all the pieces.
Yeah.
The 2 volunteers are French engineering students.
I'm Nolan. I'm studying masters in aerospace, the same as Ambeline. I'm actually studying in the United States for 2 years, but I come from France.
And why do you think you've been given the job of setting up these tents?
Honestly, I don't know. Maybe because it's kind of an engineering job to put things together and build something from it. I think that's why.
And you're up for the challenge.
Yep.
This should put their university training to the ultimate test.
There is 4 bedrooms and a kitchen.
Okay, so if we can build 1 bedroom,
Should be fine.
the other 3 ones are the same.
Andi has her own problem to sort out. The new lion, which she decided to call Sabindi, is nowhere to be seen in the enclosure he shares with his brother Mandla.
Where are the lions? He's gotten such a fright. He's run right down to the far corner. Ah, there's the other one. Now, you know what? The crazy thing is I actually wouldn't know how to tell the difference between the 2. They say that he doesn't have as much mane and he's smaller. He's not hiding. He's watching everything intensely. He's looking from left to right and but he's not scanning behind him. The wind is blowing that way. It's not going down to him from us. But even our voices, he's not showing any awareness of us being here. And he's sitting out in the open. He's going to adjust, this boy. He's going to adjust quickly.
It's reassuring that at the end of Sabindi's first day at the Love Lions Alive project, he hasn't retreated to a secluded spot, and that he and his brother Mandla are starting to move around the enclosure together. Key to Sabindi and Mandla settling in is getting them to eat. And to do that, they have to find a good spot to put their food so that they feel comfortable.
That horse, it's giving them a nice chunky piece that they can get fur and bone and get into and put it where we can see, where they feel a little bit private but we can see.
Mother rock rather.
So the little pieces they can just run and take, but if you put a biggish piece in, like between the bush and the rock, we would be able to see and they'll still feel a bit safe.
Elpia has a plan to help with the constant problem of not having enough food for the lions.
I want to buy myself a couple of chickens.
We'll start breeding chickens.
Yeah.
We'll use them faster than you can breed them, but we can they can just be an addition to our food source.
It won't be this year that it would be strong enough, but next year, if you really need something, then there is.
Okay, well now everybody's got a horse, which will make them happy. Sabindi.
While Andi still grapples with Sabindi's name, the French engineers are not much closer to solving their tent problem.
But there's so many of these ones, and I'm not sure we have that many posts.
Ah, this could be a eureka moment. They found a brand name.
Google that.
I know, it says.
So we can send them an email.
That's the inside of the tent, not the outside.
Even in the middle of South Africa, it helps to have access to the internet.
Should be the 4 bedrooms, and in the center should be something else. You can put a 4th one. It's customize your tent from 1 to 4.
Next, the vet darts Sasha and Moya, but they're in a very tricky position on top of a high rock.
Can you come up? Yeah, because I'm scared he's going to fall down on that side.
At the Love Lions Alive project, Andi is in the middle of several days of moving lions into new enclosures. New arrival Sabindi appears to be settling in with his brother Mandla. Today, Andi wants to move the young cubs, Sasha and Moya. They're presently in a large space with lots of beautiful rock formations.
One of the things about moving them up there, when you see them on top of the boulders and things, something fantastic. I love seeing them in there.
They're going into the same enclosure as Natasha, and that will free up this area.
There will be lions in here. I just think that it's better for these two. But it hasn't been just a simple decision. I really had to think about it, but because it's also the expense of getting Johan out and darting them and then going through the whole sedation to move. But I think that it's obviously it's what I've decided, is we wouldn't be doing it.
They may be only 11 months old, but Sasha and Moya are too much of a handful to be moved without being tranquilized. Feeding them now will make them lethargic and easy to dart when the vet arrives. Andi won't be stopping at just the 6 lions she presently has. And there's no lack of animals in desperate need of a home. That's why the work Lena and Tala are doing is so important. Clearing the land for more enclosures to be built, so that more lions can come.
So we'll try to help as best as we can. But the things that need to be done then.
The local vet, Dr. Johan Pretorius, has arrived. His wife Leslie is also his assistant.
Let's just take the vehicles just up here around the corner, then we can work from there.
Okay, so I'm just going to drive up as well. Okay.
Johan's had a lot of experience with big cats. That's important because darting in large enclosures can be quite risky for the lions.
So they love it in here, they can hide, but they spend most of their time hiding.
Hiding.
The back fence line is just here, so it runs just behind there. Yeah. I don't know, wind and height and...
We'll see. I'll just load some darts and we'll go up the back.
We're busy loading the darts now to go in. Okay.
Getting the dosage right is critical. The larger the lion, the more tranquilizer needed.
Then when they're sleeping, we're going to drive them up to the camp just up there.
Are they both the same size?
They're the same, they're brothers. The same.
Elpia has spotted the cubs high up on one of the boulders.
But it's a pity they're not on a lower boulder.
Yeah. Makes my life much easier. Difficult. All right.
Being up high makes it tricky for Johan. It's going to be hard to get a clean shot at them. And there's the risk of them falling after being tranquilized.
It's higher ground on that side.
On that side, okay.
Yeah,
all
so
right.
you won't be as low,
Yeah, that's fine.
up into the, and then you'll carry them out.
The team head in. The plan is to climb as high as possible to give Johan a clean shot. But the size of the boulder and where the cubs are sitting is making that very difficult.
Here's the other one. Better shot from this side.
Good shot.
Okay. That's one.
Now the pressure is on to dart the second lion before he runs off and hides.
Okay, so that was the white one now.
Yeah.
We're gonna go down and look for the other one.
So he's up here. Hang on. There's a good chance he is going to.
Yeah, he's up here as well. If you keep him busy, yeah, I'm gonna get him in his bum on the other side.
Okay.
With the cubs on the highest boulder in the enclosure, finding the right spot to dart from is easier said than done. Johan finds a rock with a good vantage point. Another great shot. Both cubs are now darted and should fall asleep within 5 minutes. But there's a very real risk they could topple off the rock if they try to walk in their semi-conscious state.
Can you come up? Yeah, because I'm scared he's gonna fall down on that side. Where's that white one? Because his eyes were almost shut. But you can get up the boulder from that side.
It's not easy. They have chosen the
Most difficult.
most difficult boulder to go.
Okay, I think I'm just gonna go check where that other one is. Are they both asleep? Yeah. Do they have a stretcher?
Yeah, he's bringing it.
Snaaks 'n plek wat hulle gaan lê.
The team must work quickly to get them down, and do it without putting themselves at risk. The rock is steep. Although they're only cubs, they weigh around 50 kilograms, and it's solid muscle. Not an easy load to carry over uneven ground.
Right.
Okay, big boy. Oh, okay.
The first part of the transfer is over. Now, the cubs need to be driven up the mountain and shifted into Natasha's enclosure before they're woken up.
Okay, one.
Thanks, Leon.
It wasn't there.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
This is Andi's second attempt at putting another lion in with Natasha. Her first was Mela, a lion of similar age.
I'm hoping this will be the solution to Natasha having company. Now, while they're still young, to make friends, and these two being younger and smaller, she's going to rank higher than them.
Right.
Natasha, what's going on?
With the boys unconscious, Johan takes the opportunity to give them a thorough examination.
Well, they're supposed to be, I don't know how old, they look quite small for their age, actually.
According to Martin, they're 10 and a half. According to,
Their size would suggest they're closer to 9 months old.
They look quite clean. I don't see much ticks or anything on them. No. Right.
My darling, you're going to have to move back from here.
Natasha is fascinated by all the goings-on. But as the unconscious cubs are moved into the enclosure, she poses a risk. This is her territory, and if she feels threatened, she could easily attack and kill the young cubs. The quicker they can be woken up, the better. But to do that, Johan needs to give them the antidote.
Did you give them the antidote, or did they
No,
take it?
can you give it now? Can I give it inside?
What's it, Natasha, Russia? Natasha, stay. Stay. She wants to come and see them already. Let's get that meat in.
Some of the freshly cut horse meat is thrown in to distract Natasha from the cubs.
Natasha's got a nice piece of meat, so she'll go.
Keep her busy.
Hopefully keep her busy for a bit while they wake up.
All the activity is attracting the attention of the other lions.
Which one is that? This little one?
Bella.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. She looks good,
The
yeah.
last time Johan saw Mela, a lack of calcium meant she was barely able to walk. Now, after a few months of a diet rich in supplements, she's a different lion. Andi recounts what happened when she tried putting Mela in with Natasha.
We put Mela in here with her for the last 4 weeks they lived together. So that was her first time. They were fine, but they weren't happy. Mela in particular wasn't happy. She just cried all the time. She cried and wanted to come squeeze herself out through the fence. And she didn't understand how we'd come up here and not let her out anymore. We moved Mela on Monday. And the moment she got that side, she started playing. And Natasha stood up straight and also started moving around. And you could see their body language.
Yeah.
Now what I've got to see, you might suddenly get a call, is how they're going to do. It's a bit of, just going to have to see.
You never know.
With time on their hands while they wait for the cubs to wake, Andi explains Natasha's history.
She's Spanish. Actually, she was born in France.
Oh,
and
is
then
it?
She was smuggled across the border into Spain, and she was in a
Really?
Spanish circus for photos from 0 to 3 months old. She used to have her for photos.
Okay.
They fed her yogurt, bread, and powdered milk because to keep that's generally in this to
they
keep
feed
them
them.
small. But if you just think about the if you think
our-
about the nutrition, what we gave to Mela,
Compared
and
to
she
that.
still struggled.
She still
compared
struggled,
to like that. So Natasha hasn't had the best start, and then when she was too big to be used for photo ops, then she was kept in a little box.
Shame.
But the first time she saw grass or bush or anything was here.
Just go quickly check on her.
Johan goes to check on the cubs. Sasha is coming round, but the antidote still hasn't taken effect on Moya.
I think you guys can leave him so they don't get... I don't want them to be too scared and now try and hide. Let's just let them wake up.
Waking up from the dark to find themselves in a totally new place would be disorienting for the cubs. So it's important the team stay quiet and don't do anything to alarm them.
It's such a scary thing. Okay. It's okay. Okay, big boy. Oh. And he still doesn't know that there's another lion to have to eat. Never
Still
mind
a surprise
us.
waiting.
Moya's lack of response is a cause for concern. It's been quite a while since the antidote was given, so he should be showing signs of waking up. The squeak of the gate brings him round.
Elke keer.
Yeah.
Like vleeskruis, you know, you got.
Yeah. And there's also a nice hidey hole that's...
With both lions now awake, the best thing that can happen is they wake up fully before they encounter the much bigger and more powerful Natasha. While lions are social animals, this is Natasha's territory, so she may see them as intruders.
I wonder what they're gonna when they meet their new roommate. Is she there?
Oh, she's there.
She's there.
Natasha is quite close, and Moya has wandered straight into her path. Next, we see how Natasha responds to Moya, and what happens when an intruder goes where he shouldn't.
You just stay here.
Young male cubs, Sasha and Moya, have been introduced into Natasha's enclosure. She's an older lion, so it's uncertain how she will react to these new arrivals. Andi's fear is she may try to attack them.
Yeah, he's very submissive.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
You can hear his sounds.
This is a challenging time for Natasha as well. She's only ever met one other lion, and that was Mela.
There's another one.
That's Sasha. She's already so much more confident, Natasha, with them. She hasn't even really met them, but her,
Shame.
with Mela, she's
Ach, that's nice.
ducked.
Moya can barely stand, so he's in no position to defend himself if Natasha attacks him.
Okay, that was a good start.
That was a good start, definitely.
Okay, Natasha, you got some friends.
As the tranquilizer wears off, the cubs are becoming more confident, and Natasha is backing away, which suggests the cubs aren't under any threat. It's been a successful introduction, and Andi feels she can leave them on their own.
I'm very pleased with the way both Moya and Natasha handled that. Moya got a fright and ran straight to where Natasha was without, he didn't know. So and he made all the right sounds, all the little subservient, little whining sounds, and lay down and did his thing in front of her, which is exactly what I was hoping, that because of their age difference and things, that the boys are going to do that. They're going to show subservience to Natasha.
But Andi's moment of satisfaction is short-lived. Leon has phoned her to say an intruder has been spotted up the mountain near the lion enclosures.
There's someone walking around up on the hill. Why would there be a guy walking there? There's no reason for anyone to be walking there. When Leon's bakkie went that way, he crossed over from our campsite up onto the red hill over there. And I'm going to take just a little drive.
Although the property is surrounded with fencing, Andi's worried that someone has climbed over one of the gates and is now in an area near the lions. The lion fences are electrified, but if someone tried to climb them, they could be in real danger. Both Andi and Leon are on their way to investigate.
Who are you? You what?
Nice dog, Mary.
Oh.
Yeah.
Where
When I
are
have
you?
what? You have what?
No. Where were you?
Me?
Yeah.
I was here, there.
Why?
I'm tired. I'm looking food.
You're looking for food up there?
Yeah.
What kind of food? What kind of food are you looking for up there?
Take a photograph of him.
I found hunger. See, the hunger.
What's your name? What is your name? Yeah. Where's your house?
Me house.
Yeah.
Over there.
Leon is quick to phone the police. Not only would a lion attack put the sanctuary in jeopardy, there's the possibility that he's a scout for poachers.
He says he's doing research.
You just stay here. Hello, Bino. We are here at the farm Appen at Montrose. You see, our problem is that we've got a lion sanctuary and this guy is walking in the veld.
If you're walking on our mountain and our lion finds you, our lion will hurt you.
Yeah.
The lion will kill you.
Yeah.
You can't just say, sorry, you can't come up there, we can't be here with the lions.
It doesn't take long for the police to arrive, and they are able to act as translators.
Mogit is speaking to an Indian sister.
This guy. He says he's here for traditional ceremony to become a traditional healer.
In some African cultures, it's traditional for people training as healers to make a pilgrimage to the mountains to find plants that are used in medicines. It seems the young man was just following one of these traditional routes and didn't realize he was trespassing. So that he understands the danger he was in, the decision is made to take him up to the top camp and show him the lions.
What do you think?
Hey, this one beautiful.
Are they scary?
Yes.
Please, I think you have seen that. We don't want to see you around this place again.
After a stern warning not to return, no charges are laid, and he's taken back to his home by the police. Coming up, are the claw marks on the trees in Mandla and Sabindi's enclosure a sign they're not happy?
And here, this branch across, you see these scratch marks and how they've broken down all the little pieces.
For the last few days, Andi has been moving lions around the Love Lions Alive project, trying to find combinations that can coexist in the same enclosure. This morning, it's time to see if those combinations are working. Being brothers, there was never much doubt Mandla and Sabindi would get on.
See their claw marks up that tree, quite high. Up that tree where they've taken down little bits of, and that one there they're like really going into, And then here, this branch across. You see these scratch marks and how they've broken down all the little pieces.
Andi's biggest worry about these two older males was how quickly they would adjust to their new environment.
So what's nice about seeing all of this is it means that at night, or when we're not watching, they are wandering around and enjoying the enclosure a bit, which I'm pleased about. Hello, big girl. Hey, baby. How's
Next, Andi checks on Natasha and the two boys.
There's nothing to worry about. Really, babies?
And finds that Sasha has climbed high in a tree facing Mella's enclosure.
It may be the first time they've realized Mella's here.
Despite Sasha and Moya now being focused on Mella, just a few moments before, Andi saw signs of progress with Natasha.
They were all in the same little area, and then Natasha was having a play, stalk and go at Moya. And what I liked about it is that she felt confident and settled enough to do that. And he did a little warning snarl, but then he started making friendly sounds and movements. And then Natasha, put her forehead down on the ground, rubbed her forehead in the ground, and then rolled over on her back. And she showed signs of being friendly. Then Moya lay down, and then Sasha approached, and all three of them were lying in the grass in a triangular formation about 2 meters apart, completely communicating and talking to one another.
Elsewhere on the sanctuary, Lena and Thala have finished clearing grass. Now they're starting the foundations for a platform where the new tents will eventually be constructed.
Well, there are many things you haven't done this before.
In the late afternoon, they take a break to see how Natasha and the cubs are getting on. They've positioned themselves on a nearby rock, staying calm and still. And their patience is rewarded with the first sign that the three lions are bonding with one another.
It's nice. It's nice now when I see they're getting along that well, these three. And that's fine. It seems like they enjoy each other's company. They're calm, and so that's very nice to see. They're licking with their tongue, and that's a good sign. That's so sweet.
After a lifetime on her own, it looks like Natasha finally has some friends. Unfortunately, Andi isn't there to see it. She's got wind of a new lion that needs rescuing. And she's off to the airport to catch a flight to Cape Town. While there, she needs to arrange the transfer of a 2-month-old lion cub. Next time, a rescued lion cub finds a new home.
It's been lovely having him, even though he's still not in good condition. He's so much better than he was.
An out-of-control fire threatens the sanctuary. And a generous sponsor allows Andi to open a new enclosure.
New foundation, Lion Lagoon.